It's early Sunday morning as we arrive at Refuel, the Southwest's dedicated cars and coffee venue. Petrol Heads meet here to eat, drink, hang out and relax. Refuel is ideally placed to host this year's Devon Austin 7 Club Young Drivers' Day. They will get an opportunity to drive a car in safe off-road conditions. This event is specifically aimed at young people who have never driven a car and would like to get behind the wheel. At the same time, they can learn about the fabled Austin 7 petrol engine. The event has been organised by Nick Smith and David Elmore of the Devon Austin 7 Club, along with Dan Regan of Refuel. As we eavesdrop in on a discussion about the day and the ethos behind this event, David, Nick and Dan are joined in the conversation by Steve Earle, Publicity Officer from the Austin 7s Association.
So it's been a great day. Lots of young people sort of driving cars. How did it all get started, Dan?
Well, ever since we started Refuel back in 2019, one of the pillars of Refuel has always been trying to get the younger generation more involved in vintage cars and classic cars, because we've seen all of these lovely vintage and classics all come out of the woodwork to come to our destination of Refuel, and there's a current generation of people looking after those cars, and the worry is that what about the next generation? Who's going to look after those cars in times to come? And we are seeing younger people get into retro cars from the 90s, the 80s, maybe starting to edge the 70s. But what about all the pre-war stuff and things? Someone's going to have to be there, either with their lathes or maybe, as David and I were saying earlier, with their CAD and their CNC machines, making parts for these old cars. So there's the skill set and things that's needed to be taught as well to look after them. So that's something we've always been really passionate about, getting the youngsters interested in the vintage cars, but also teaching them the skills that they'll be able to keep them alive and keep them going. And then obviously I met David, and David very much shared the same vision.
Yeah, very much so, and I think it's a discussion that we've been having within Devon Sevens ourselves, and also in the wider Austin 7 community. I mean, the demographic of our ownership is really at the top end of the age group, and we've become acutely aware that unless we make some positive move towards involving younger people and spreading our knowledge and experience, the likelihood is that's going to die out, and our cars are just going to become museum pieces sat in garages, instead of what we all love doing, which is actually getting out there and driving on the road. So, it's great for you, Dan, and I was always very conscious that we were impinging on your business when we took up so much space and time. But in fact, with your support, we were able to run, the first event back in October.
What exactly have you been doing today?
Well, the whole idea has been to showcase the Austin 7, its simplicity of engineering, to involve, say, the younger generation, but what we're talking about is new people to vintage cars. Really of any age, yes, ideally the younger generation, but really anybody who'd like to have a go. So we've been offering people the chance to actually drive a car on private land in a safe area, to offer them, drives in and out of Columpton as passengers in some vintage cars. And then we've got an engine which we've been really pleased with the reaction to that some youngsters have got hands on, got their hands dirty, got the spanners out, and really been introduced to the simple engineering. So it's been really another successful day, and thank goodness the weather's been kind to us this time. Yeah. But I think, Steve, from underneath there, you can see the spring compressing. The other way.
This way, right?
Undo it. That's it.
It's just very
well done. Brilliant.
2 stars here.
Excellent.
Push it right to the floor.
Yep.
And it's like, what am I going to say? It's not like a clutch on a conventional car. It's off and on. Well done. Very good.
Right. Was that enjoyable?
Yes.
Good fun?
Yes.
Yeah. How many have you driven today?
2.
2?
Yes.
Sports
I
car and a
thought you saw
saloon.
dry over much, but you've done 2. Well done.
Yes.
And have you found much out of the day so far? Have you obviously learning about
Yeah,
stripping engines down?
very
We
fun.
learned how to
Is that going to
drive
be your
them.
passion for the future?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what you're doing?
Now, yeah.
Or you're learning fast?
Yes.
What are you actually doing at the minute?
We're about to take out the valve. Yeah. Yeah, then you take out the.
If I can. I haven't got any nails. I might have to do that.
It's great
People,
fun.
find people waved at you and so on?
Yes, there was a bit of beeping, wasn't there, with people looking, and yeah, it was great. It was great.
Excellent.
Really enjoyed it.
Tell me a little bit about the car. It looks very old.
Yes, she's a 1929 Austin 7 Chummy. All the bodywork was replaced in the 80s or 90s, but the rest of it's original. And once she gets started, she goes like a dream. Yeah, I've had her for nearly a year now and absolutely loved it. I take her out whenever I possibly can. And that was it. I fell in love with the Austin 7.
The Austin 7. It is a 7, isn't it?
Are you alright then? Yeah. She's cool.
You know, Steve, you're aware, I think, of the fact that what we're trying to do here actually extends beyond Devon. You know, there's a lot of clubs in the association that are looking at the same sort of thing and maybe, you know, looking to do the same thing, but maybe by different means.
Absolutely, yeah. The association does, as you recognise, needs to attract younger people and you know, more people.
Yeah.
To look after these cars for when when we're all gone.
Yeah.
And what you guys are doing down here in Devon is amazing, and a great venue to do it in as well, which is fantastic. And there is other stuff going on around the country, I'm sure. But if this could be replicated in every county in the country, then Austin 7s would be well looked after for generations to come, I should have thought.
And I think that was part of our shared vision, wasn't it, David? That if we do this here, we really hope that people do at other venues around the country copy what we're doing, and get youngsters into vintage cars. You know, we're not doing something that we want to be unique and special down here. We want it to happen all over the UK.
Yeah. And I think that I go back to the same thing as we became really aware that we as Austin 7 owners were rather inwardly looking at the same people going out on the events. We were just talking amongst ourselves. We were just sort of sending out information to club members. Whereas in the last year, I think we've realised, or we've really tried to expand that out and take the cars out to events where people aren't there because it's a car show. They're there because they want to walk along the prom. I mean, we go to a show on Seafront, and we meet a completely different range of people there to what we do at say Powderham Car Show or something like that.
Yeah.
Because somebody just walking up and down the seafront and sees a car, 1 in 100 you'll spark that interest in, and you know, who knows where that'll lead to.
Yeah.
So yeah, it really is the way to go, I'm sure.
I know when you're places like that, it might not be a car enthusiast that stops, but they'll see the car and go, my dad had one of those.
That's it. Yeah. Well, that's the typical Austin 7 story.
They're the enthusiasts of the future, aren't they?
Yeah,
very
exactly,
much so. And everybody's got that Austin 7 story.
Yeah.
So yeah. Spreading the word has got to be the name of the game if we're going to, keep the interest going in our cars.
Yeah. Well, I hope we can really keep the momentum up with this and run more and more of these events. I think this one has grown from the first one, and there's more and more things we can add into the mix and make it more and more engaging and interesting.
Yeah. Really didn't know where the interest was. Clearly, the interest is in actually getting behind the wheel and driving the car from the age, from the youngest age. And we've actually had to turn a couple of youngsters away today because they were just too young. You've got to be sensible about it. I mean, 7 and 8 year olds is a bit too young. Can't even reach the pedals. But 12, 13, 14, see those youngsters really sparking interest at the start is brilliant.
Yeah.
And that's been going all day.